Am I on yet?
Yes.
Is it on?
Yes.
Are we live?
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're live. All right. Oh my gosh. Turn that volume down.
I don't know where the volume is.
Inside. All right. So, hello. Back to the Dragon Realty. Well, no, that's not what we call this. Sorry. Good, Bad, and Ugly Real Estate Show, where we are bringing you the growth of a small real estate group from the bottom to the top. We got a few houses. We've been doing fairly well, I think, and we're hoping to continue doing well. And we just want to share that journey with you so you can see how you could do it, other people could do it, band together, do it apart, do it with your mom, anything you want. So, Elise was warning me before I did this show that I need to really be careful not to say bad language because that's difficult. And I apologize if something ever happens because I'm live and I can see it. All right. So disclaimer, we are not real estate attorneys. We are not anything licensed, legal, anything. We are dumber than a box of rocks. We are just doing this, and we're here for you to watch us. We're here for you to see how well we do, how good, how bad, where we mess up, where we do well, and that way you can see it from the ground up. So don't take anything we say as word. Don't come back and sue us because you tried it and it didn't work for you. Please don't. Just know what we say. Take it, try it on your own, and if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. Oh, you can see our really pretty little ring.
Yes.
Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. It all matters.
I'm trying to figure out how to say it.
So if you can see, we updated. We're getting all technological. So we have now a TV screen, so you can see all the stuff we want you to see. So I'll explain that really quick first. We have the name, Good, Bad, and Ugly Real Estate Investment Group. I'm really hoping you can see the words. We're trying. Technical difficulties.
No, just your family's group chat is blowing up my phone.
Oh, ugh. I mean, not, yeah, sorry, family. I love my family. Okay, back to the show. So, up here, we have the properties that we currently hold. Now, the only property that is currently within the Dragon Realty Investment Group is the last house here. We're going to call it the Pink House. Purchased with a conventional loan. The capital invested into this property to purchase it and flip it was $33,000. Here we have the original mortgage. Yeah, but the mortgage is on the property because we paid down some of the equity. We have cash flow. We have the appreciation on the property, which we just flipped it, so there is currently no appreciation because it hasn't had time to gain value through time. Ooh, that could be a depreciation too, because if it goes down in value over time, it could be a depreciation. We have the remodel equity. So after we got done flipping the house, it holds currently, according to comparisons that we have, holds about $72,000 in equity. Pretty snazzy. And then we have the mortgage pay down. So that's the amount that's going to be paid down on the mortgage every year. So on this one, it's about $1,029. Not too shabby. Down below that, we have our next section, which I'm really excited about. We have our Dragon Realty, Good, Bad, and Ugly competition. So within Dragon Realty, we have members of Dragon Realty Investment Group that have given us permission to use their first names. I hope I don't say any of them's last names, and hopefully you don't sue me if I accidentally do. We have permission to use their current monthly incomes and what they are doing inside of a real estate group, how they're doing it, and how well they're doing based on that. Now, what we're going to do is whoever makes the most money after investing with us over the course of this next year is going to win $1,000. So, yay! I'll kind of outline it a little bit here. We have Mr. Blank Man because he has yet to sign his information release paperwork, which means that if we put his information up here, we don't want him to sue us. So this hobo hasn't signed yet. So Mr. Blank.
We have 1, 2 and 3.
Yes, we have 3 Mr. Blanks. Those blankety blank blank mother blankers. So,
We have a comment.
Oh, we have a comment. What's the comment say?
Your brother.
Oh boy.
The only thing ugly is Roy Weiner after shaving that glorious beard.
It was a glorious beard. But it was an annoying beard. And I don't like beards, do we? I used to.
They're itchy.
Until I had one. And they're annoying. Food falls on them. And I am gorgeous without the beard and with the beard. And that is all I'm going to say about that. You need a beard. And we all understand that. Some men do. Anyway, back on track. So, I could hate on anyone on this. All right. So we have Gary currently pulling in $2,500 a month in monthly income. So that's through different means of who knows. But that's the monthly income that they have without real estate investment money. We have Mike currently at a 0 monthly income. We have Dewey currently at $7,000.
That's insane.
So he actually gave me permission for Dewey. Yeah, so that's an easy one. We have Mr. Blank, who cares about him? And we have Jerry pulling in 0 a month. That's the crazy thing is, though, we have a few people that don't have current incomes, but they're investing in real estate, and as you'll be able to see, they're doing well, which is awesome. Oh, I'm doing this out of sequence. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
All right. So current monthly cash flow off the first property. This is really just mostly one property so far. We have another property in the works. So current monthly cash flow, we have Mr. Blank at $2.30. He's not that involved yet. We're working on it. We have Gary at $131.20. We have Mike at $39.57. Dewey, $49.36. Mr. Blank, do care. Jerry at $63.78. Now, me and Elise aren't in the competition.
No, but we are putting our numbers on the board.
Yes, because we don't care. We want to throw our numbers up there so that you can see how everyone's doing. We want to be very open about the financial situation of this group so you know exactly what you're walking into potentially. So yes, Roy and Elise, we currently have a W-2 income of $4,024 a month. In monthly cash flow so far off this, we have $587 in monthly cash flow. We have an equity of $79,914, which we gained last year through a couple properties. Our net worth, well, that's the same. Oh, that's interesting. Net worth versus equity. I'll have to look into that. I don't know why I have that. The money that we have currently invested in all of our properties is $41,160. That's pretty crazy, too. Yeah, but we have more properties than this. Our sweat equity we have involved in the properties right now is just $3,530 because we don't work that hard.
We do the other stuff.
Yes. We do a lot of work that we don't get paid for. Our properties that we actually lock down and turn into, that we find for the real estate group, we do get paid for that. So we have $1,408 invested in that in time. And then we have $2,648 invested in locking these properties into contract and actually purchasing them for the group. There's
so other people can definitely move into these two categories. The only reason it's empty is just because nobody has done what we've done.
Yeah. So if you bring us a property and you work out a deal and the numbers are good, then we give you automatic equity in the property. These numbers are based on the equity in the property, not your returns. So that's how much you're gaining for finding that property for us. This is how much you're gaining if the property is in your name, which... Oh no, if you're wheeling the deal and the property's in your name. But, and you guys, anybody can do that in the group. So you have to be part of the business, you have to be part of the group, but bring us a deal and then we can work you into some equity. So, yeah, that is the competition. Currently, it looks like Mr. Gary is in first place because he holds $9,967 in equity with us. And yeah, that's it. Good to you, sir. Good to you.
Okay, so now do you want to do the house hunt updates or did you want to talk about the other thing?
Oh, yeah, well, so our book that we threw out there last time, we'll throw out again, so we're going to do one a month, is not a book. Undercover Billionaire. So it's a TV show, and which makes it easy because it's kind of fun to watch. It's a TV show, and even though I don't recommend wasting all your time on TV and all that stuff, hey, if you're learning real estate and learning how to invest from it and growing, then it's good. What did you think about it, Elise?
I think it's a fun show to watch, and it gets you. It shows you that even billionaires are willing to be extremely uncomfortable.
Yes, I like that part. They understood that they couldn't go spend their $100 on the food they wanted. They couldn't go find a brand new car. They couldn't go live in a nice motel. They couldn't go live in a nice apartment right away. They kind of had to live on the streets a little.
Yep.
And they had to go wheel and deal for food. And sometimes they lived in an apartment with some rats.
A lot of them ended up buying a bunch of Top Ramen.
A lot of Top Ramen. So, yeah, it just shows you that they understood when you're starting from the beginning, they had to dig deep and get dirty.
Yeah.
Real dirty. So, yeah, no, it's a great show. I like it.
House hunt?
House hunt. Yes. So, currently, I'll do one house, you do the other house. Sound good?
Which one do you want?
I will do the potential duplex.
Okay.
So, with the potential duplex that we were looking at, it's not looking so good for all you that invest with us. But it's still not 100% off the table. So what happened was we went there today with the foundation inspectors. The foundation inspector did a thorough inspection of the foundation. And then what he said was that they believed that there was a pipe that broke underneath the property, eroded one side of the house with the flow of the water, took out a lot of dirt, and actually allowed that to sink faster. So in order to do an actual estimate on the property, he would have to get in there. We'd have to do a pressure test on the pipes, which would actually cost money, which we don't really want to put out just yet, for a property that isn't looking so great. So he would do a water pressure on the pipes, find out if there is a broken pipe, and then that would go into the estimation and bring up the cost a lot. They may have to raise it and put in foam, which doesn't make it easy for us to do. So that's where we're at with that one. I wanted to get a number for us to be either able to present to the owner and say, hey, if this much is knocked off, we can do it because then we can get it repaired. Or if they wanted to repair it, we could then pay the price that they were looking for. But that's where we're sitting right there. We're letting we
couldn't really get a clear estimate. So since we can't get a clear estimate, that one's just kind of on the back burner.
Yeah, yep. And you can only hold these properties for 15 days, depending on the agreement you have in contract. So we don't want to sit here on hold on to this one for forever either. So we're going to let it go out of contract, and we are going to pursue the other ones that are looking better and working out a little bit better.
So the farmhouse?
Yep.
So the farmhouse we are now under contract for?
Yes, we're now in contract for the farmhouse.
And the farmhouse is a lot better. It's a solid property. It already has a metal roof, which is a big plus, especially I feel like in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a lot of potential in that house in making it into something that could have 5 bedrooms. And bedroom numbers drive price.
Yeah, so square footage and bedroom numbers really drive price around here. Yep. You want me to talk a little bit about the numbers?
Yeah, I don't know the numbers.
Okay, I kind of figured that. So the numbers we're looking at this house is actually, oh no, it's not up there. So the numbers that we're looking at this house are potentially $1,800 a month for rent. So if we look at the low end of that, $1,650, $1,600 a month in rent, it still looks like it's going to pull in about $560 some in cash flow. But now that we're moving into conventional mortgages, which you kind of have to, other than some creative finance, if you're going to use conventional mortgages, there's going to be a little less cash flow, but you're going to have quite a bit of equity pay down.
Not conventional.
Oh, sorry, commercial.
Yes.
Thank you. So now we're moving to commercial loans. There's going to be less cash flow, but a lot of equity pay down. So we're looking at about $3,000 a year in equity pay down plus, and over $564 a year or a month in cash flow. So it's still going to be a really nice house, just not all cash flow. So it's looking really good. The next steps that we have in the lineup for that is we got to go out there. We have to do a full home inspection, and we have to take lots of pictures because we have to do an estimate on the repair costs for that property.
Yes.
And we'll bring those to you when we get them.
The other house is.
What is that? Yeah, it's
Did you let go of that one?
No, we didn't let go of it, but we haven't made an offer yet on that one. We're looking to make an offer if they're still open for offers, just to have another house in the lineup.
We're also going to be looking for more potential properties.
Yes, because the way it works out is you think you have something locked in, and you waste 3 months trying to buy it, and then it doesn't work out. And so now you've just wasted 3 months of your time when it could have been used in other aspects. So, there's nothing wrong with getting deep and heavy into 4 or 5 houses, and then one of them only works out. And that's fantastic because you nailed one. Just know that if you focus all on one house, that you might not end up with a property at all at the end of 3 months.
Yeah.
So throw in some bids, look at some contracts, and take out the best one.
Yeah. Business?
Oh, yeah. So business. This part we had a little bit of disagreement on. She said it was a little bit too much towards the future. Why would you even mention it? But here's my dealio. So we have kind of a cool thing, right? So there's 2 different ways you can grow a business. You can grow a business up, which everybody knows. You do better, you do more real estate, you work on more houses, and you can grow a business laterally. So what that means is you take a look at all the different things that you're doing for that real estate business, and you see if any of them have aspects of it that could also work in your favor as a part-time or other business that adds money to that business. So it would be kind of like if you were a tire producer, instead of just producing the tires, you also rotated and put on the tires for people. So I will show you guys a little something. So we're going to go to, we have a inventory where we have all of our inventory, right? And these are all the materials that we have and purchase from at very low to wholesale prices. So we're already tracking all of our materials. We're already tracking what they are, where they come from, how much they cost. We inventory them. So we have them in a storage, we inventory them, and then when we get a property, we already have them at the best price possible, and then we start remodeling that property and we put them into that property. So what we're doing is we're going to be looking to start an e-commerce business where we do the exact same thing we're doing right now, except we allow other people to purchase those same materials for us at a higher margin. So the only thing different is we just have a deal with Amazon where instead of us just bringing those materials straight to us, they can also sell those materials that we have found to other people. So for minimal work, we actually get to make more money in a lateral business. Because we're already doing most of the work, we might as well make a little more money off the top of it for the business. So that is our lateral business thing that we're working on. And hey, let us know what you think. A lot of people say, hey, like if you're in a situation where you're doing real estate, you need to do real estate and you need to work hard at what you're doing. To take on other aspects of this, maybe it's putting you in danger. Maybe it's just taking on too much. Maybe you're trying to overdo it. Maybe you're trying to outreach too far. But I think we have the equity and the margins to really keep us safe. And well, I mean, actually, it's a no cost. We aren't investing any more money into this to start up our e-commerce business. So it's really a no cost. There's no money invested into it, so we can't lose money on it. So that's nice. Just maybe a little time. But yeah, so you got to find those ways where you can make extra money for no extra effort or price. And this is one of the ways in which we can do that. Everybody thinks you have to start this grand business or something in order to make more money, but that's kind of what it's about. It's about finding those micro changes where you can increase your income and keep doing better. The second thing we have is we're actually looking to start a contracting business because in this area, especially, contracting is extremely hard to find. Contractors are hard to find. Good contractors are hard to find. Trustworthy contractors, really hard to find. They will come in, they will charge you up a lot, and then they will take off and never finish the job. So having a good, trustworthy contractor in this area is really important. We already have a lot of connections that we've made through our real estate investing that say, hey, we will use you. Like, we have space, we need people to work all the time. So we know we have the work, we know we have the inventory to support us to get us into a lower cost pricing, because most of the contractors around here, they go straight to Home Depot or Lowe's. We already get ours at cost and at a low price, so that's going to bring our margins higher on our income through the contracting business. I'm not personally taking this on for our investors. I am going to be working with the e-commerce side a little bit, but I'm not taking on the contracting side. I'm looking for someone else to come in and take on that I trust and work with well.
Well, it's another way for us to hopefully get some of our investors who want to come and work on the houses to have a more constant workflow.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's one thing we're trying to open up is we want people to be able to not only invest with us, but to be able to work with us. And so we need to be able to create a means of them to be able to come and work with us and still have an income while they work with us and build their passive income and retire early. So in order to open up that means, we got to have a small business on the side, which we're hoping that contracting really does it for us.
Several of our investors are pretty handy. So.
Oh yeah. So, and we already have some that work with us, so this will be a good way to bring them in some extra income while we're not working on our properties. Flip side, we get contractors to work on our properties at wholesale cost or wholesale cost.
Just good price. I don't know.
Yeah. At cost. It's just cost.
Oh, okay.
It's at cost. So we're going to be able to have our laborers that are working on these other, jobs, at the same time be working on our properties when they don't have those other jobs going on, giving us at cost work on our properties with our real estate investors. So bang bang, wing wham. I almost said something not so good in there. It's another way of adding value to us, but not bringing any cost to us. Because we also have all the tools to do the contracting. We just need the labor, we need the license, and that's about it.
Yep.
So yeah, that's about it on that subject. I don't think those are our future goals. Boop, 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 boop. Obviously, we're still looking at more properties and investing, and that's our primary focus. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at. Go back to that one. Nope, that's not it. That's tracking our properties. Oh, it's another one. Personal finance. We have the same setup for our properties. So, boom. This is how we do our personal finance, right? And we can show you that in another video, too.
They can't see this.
Oh, yeah, you can't see this. And this isn't even on our agenda. What are we doing? What are you doing? Stop me. All right. Yeah, you'll learn that later. Or you won't because you don't watch the videos. All right. What's next?
The issue.
Oh, what's our issue? Actually, I'll go back to the inventory for that. You explain the issue. I'll go to the inventory.
They won't really be able to see anything in the inventory.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But it's there. Give me a second. I'll make it so you can see it.
We buy it a lot in bulk, and it saves us a lot of money. But when you buy in bulk, and then... So we hold all the materials for these properties under our cost. So we have the holding cost of the materials. And then when we use say we use an entire tube of caulk on a house, and we bought the tube of caulk for $1, and when we used it up, the tubes of caulk has gone up to $1.50. So when we go to look for that same tube of caulk to see how much we should charge the house for the caulk, we see it as $1.50, but when we had bought it, it was only $1. So that wouldn't be fair to charge the house for the $1.50 because of the increase in price. So we have to figure out how to put into our inventory the price of the caulk at the time we buy it, and then we have to know if we're using the one that costs $1 or $1.50.
Yes. So we have to be able to take each property. Let's say we have 2 or 3 properties at the same time that we're working on. We have to be able to distinguish what price point we bought that material at and charge them that versus the price point that we're currently buying it at. Because we might have bought it a month ago when it was $1, but we don't want to charge them $1.50 for something that was $1, but now is $1.50. So, yeah, but we'll work it out. Those are those systems changes that you have to do and you have to figure out, and it stumps you for a minute, but there's always a way through it. I think we figured out a way through everything so far.
Yes.
So
this one's a little bit messier. It's going to take a little bit to figure out, just because I think that we have to label everything, and that's kind of a pain, and I don't really know how we're going to keep up with that. But
right, and so that's the thing is there's businesses out there that have already done this and already do this, so there's a lot of research for us to do to figure it out. And if you guys have any ideas or comments in the way to easily handle it, sure, throw it at us. That's a lot of this. So I completely lost track of what I was talking about. What am I talking about?
Tracking the things.
Oh, thank you. So there's systems out there that people use to already track this stuff. And we're going to figure out how to make this system work a little bit better in that area. So that's one of the things we're working on right now. Have any ideas, just throw it at us. It has to be simple and concise enough for somebody to do that's brain dead. And then it also has to be simple and concise enough that it doesn't take a team to continue up with the inventory. So at this point, I can handle the inventory with no problem. And our contractors can go in and they can minus out materials used easy enough, and I can add materials gained, and it's all set up. So it has to flow with that. This can't be something that somebody that's not a child could do. Not saying people are stupid that work with us, not at all. They're very smart people. But
you always want everything to be as simple as possible.
Absolutely. If you couldn't show it to somebody in 5 minutes and have them have an okay idea on how to use it, then it's maybe too complicated for your system. Because it's just going to cause you problems later on down the road when you're trying to get other people to use that system. Yeah, so that's our issue. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll quit. Maybe we'll fail. You never know. Because it's good, bad, and ugly. Just like me. What's next?
Number 8.
Oh! Yeah, so we're trying not to make this one an hour because our last one was an hour and nobody watched it. I'm kidding. There were people that watched it, but we know nobody wants to sit around for an hour watching these things. Who has the time for that? So, the next thing we wanted to kind of go over was our first property. A lot of the stuff was a little bit advanced, and so if you're trying to just get into your first property, what does that look like? Do you want to explain our first property, kind of?
So our first property was... He probably had the goal in his mind of, like, turning it into, like, a long-term rental situation. But at the time, I still wasn't fully on board with investing. This was before I was really on board with the whole thing. So for me, it was just, we needed a place to live. We were going to Fort Sill for his AIT. So he was changing his job in the military, and AIT is your job training. And his job training was 1 week short of being able to take his family with him. So that meant that the Army would not send me. So I would have to stay in North Carolina and he would have to go to Oklahoma. We didn't like that idea because he was in America, so why would we be separated? I was also pregnant with Scarlett, so we didn't like that either because she was going to be born in the time that he was at school. So we decided to come to Oklahoma anyways, and we could find no one to let us live somewhere for just 6 months. And I shouldn't say no one. We could, but it was double rent. So instead of paying like $900 a month for rent, we would have had to pay almost $1,800 per month for 6 months. And that just was not feasible for us. No. So we started looking into mortgages, and we found that a mortgage would be significantly cheaper than renting for 6 months. So we...
And let's be real here a little bit. I've been trying to arm her into getting into real estate for a while. And she was like, why would we put our money towards that? We need to pay the bills. And so I was like, well, hey, if you won't want to see me for 6 months, then I guess you can stay and brag. And she was like, well, what can we do? And I'd be like, buy a house. Real estate. Like, oh.
So our first house had to be ready to go because I was pregnant and he had no time.
Yeah, no time.
So our first house had to be something that we could walk into and live in. It couldn't be the fixer-upper that needs like 6 months of work because he didn't have time. He was at an AIT, which is like a 9-to-5 job, basically. So he would have had no extra time. Not to mention he had to study when he wasn't at school.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of stuff that would have taken his time away, and he would not have been able to remodel this house. So we ended up finding a house that was already ready to go. We did add little things here and there just because we were living there, so why not spruce it up?
Yeah, it was a cost of, it was literally $1,000 almost exactly that we did between some pull handles and cleaning up the yard and stuff like that. It wasn't much.
Added a little bit of shelving in the bathrooms, put a shelf out in the garage, just a couple of things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So how it kind of worked out is, and kind of what we're getting at is that we didn't jump into a crazy awesome flip that made us a lot of money like this one. But we jumped in at a property that was just gonna cash flow us about $135 a month
after we moved out and had to rent it.
Yeah. So I mean, let's look at the real side of this. That if we would have had to drop rents by $150, we would have been negative cash flow.
Yes.
We would have had to cover that extra 35 or $20 or whatever.
Yes.
So there's reasons why you do or do not want to do this. But so what we did to kind of counteract that was we bought it at cost. It covered the mortgage. It made us $135 a month. And so what we did was we just took all our extra little pennies and threw it at it. So anytime we had to add an extra $20, an extra $50, an extra $40, an extra $100, we would throw it into our mortgage and pay down that equity.
We ended up paying down that house by $20,000.
$20,000, something that we never ever
Physically
thought
had.
we physically could have. Like we lived for a long time, paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. And so we didn't think we had that money, but it's funny when you put that money towards a mortgage, which is as easy as making a couple clicks on a computer. When you do have that extra $20 or $40, and you're like, hey, we got an extra $20, and and I might say, well, hey, you want to go get some Mickey D's today, and because we got to run to the store, and Elise will say, well, let's just put that extra $20 at the mortgage, and we'll grab a sandwich before we go to Mickey D's or before we go to the store. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. And so we'll throw the $20 at the mortgage. And before you know it, we paid it down $20,000 in 2 years.
I want to say it wasn't 2 years. I think it was like a year and a half. It was crazy.
Year and a half, but it was like we might have put some of our tax returns to it.
I think we did use taxes.
So it wasn't just $20 here, $20 there. We got some tax returns at the end of the year. We put that towards it. So how we worked that into a much better property was well actually,
the $20,000 that we paid off actually ended up giving us the idea for our future houses.
Oh, yeah. So talk about learning curve. When I first started this, I thought we were going to buy a house every 6 years, and every time we moved to a different base. And after 20 years, we'd have 6 houses, which is just a very simple. We're way above that now, or we're way beyond that idea. So yeah, that gave us the idea of paying down some equity when we first get into the houses and building the equity in there. So we'll look at the numbers. So Cherokee, which was our first property. We got into that. It cost us to purchase the house was $4,000. That was the closing cost. That's all we needed when we first got the house. The $20,000 that's here is actually what we paid down over those couple of years. Yes. So when you see $24,000, that's not quite true. $4,000 to close. Yeah, no down payment. So that's with a VA loan. Some other loans, you have other things, but FHA loans are pretty similar to not having to have really a down payment. So that's kind of nice. I can't tell you exactly FHA loan standards, but they're pretty good too.
Yeah.
And those are available to anybody. Our cash flow was $135. So this house now, the original mortgage.
21.
Oh yeah, but okay. I'm sorry, I said was. So it was $135. But what we did was we paid down that $20,000. And then we refinanced, not cash out, refinance. But we refinanced it. So now it cost us a couple more $1,000 to do the refinance. But we refinanced it, and now
But the money that it cost us to refinance went into the loan. It didn't come out of our pocket.
No, it didn't come out of our pockets. So we were able to do that at no cost. So we refinanced. Now the property makes $321 a month. It has appreciated from $80,000 when we first purchased it, our original mortgage. It's appreciated $20,000 So it's grown in the last, 3 years now?
Yes.
In the last 3 years, it's grown $20,000. So it's made us 20 grand just from growing. The remodel equity, I mean, it did bump up a decent bit when we put those few things into it. Bumped it up a few thousand on the.
Once you add finishes to a house, if they are like nicer finishes, it does bump up your value. It doesn't bump it up a whole lot, but it does still add.
Yeah, so it did add to our value once they reevaluated it. So we put that at $3,383, and then our mortgage pay down was $20,000 because we paid down $20,000 on the mortgage. So we went from having a house that we bought at cost. That's exactly what the market said that it was worth, and 3 years later, through a little bit of paying on it and a little bit of paying down the mortgage and a refinance, and now we have $40,000 sitting in this house. Oh yeah, we have the totals, don't we? No, we don't. We have $40,000 sitting in this house in equity, and we have $321 a month in cash flow. So, yeah, that's how you can do it. You don't have to be the amazing flipper. You can start out just doing it this way. We recommend the flips. We recommend building the equity because it gives you some security.
Yeah. It just all depends on what you can do. If you are handy and hey, I can handle drywall work, a new roof, and having to paint and redo 3 of the floors, then get the house that needs those things.
Yeah.
If you know you can do it. If you don't know if you can do it and you want to do something more secure, maybe invest with somebody who's already doing it.
Oh yeah, that's what people in our real estate group do. It's not just because they think we know a lot more about real estate than them. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. They might be a lot smart enough. I don't know. But they know that they can put in a few $1,000s into a property with a bunch of other people that put in a few $1,000s, and their risk is a lot less than if they were to go purchase that property fully on their own. So it's a safer way of doing it as well.
So that's the way that they're starting out. Some of the investors, I don't think any of them own any properties, but one does.
Some do. 2 or 3 do.
Oh, okay.
Own
Yeah, so
of their own.
they have their properties on the side, and then they're investing on the side with us.
Yep, because they trust us. But yeah, so we have to pause. Our daughter opened the door and is whispering to us. What's up, Punk? Way to interrupt. No, you're good. Go on, get up.
No,
Yeah, you're
don't.
fine.
Hey, you're leaving her alone.
Anyway, so see, we're real people. So yeah, so you can get into these properties. Like, you don't have to do all the rigmarole that we do. We build equity that way, and we build security for our investors and for us. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have to start that way. You can leverage yourself out a lot more and then pay down.
Or your first house could be house hacking. If you have a house that already has a lot of room, and you're able to rent out a room or a section of your home, you can do that too.
Yeah.
That's a good way to start.
Yep. If you don't like the idea of that, and you got like a 2-story house, you can always, use that gateway to put a couple deadbolts on so that you have your own space and they have their own space. Yeah, so a lot of different ways you can do it. Many ways of skinning. Can we say skinning cats online?
I don't like it.
Many ways to skin lots of kittens. So,
Really?
all right, I think that's about it. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough for me. All right, goodbye. Don't like it.